What do Ted Cruz supporters and Hillary Clinton supporters have in common? Well, it seems like some of them are doing everything in their power to ensure that Donald Trump is the next president. I'm Randall Terry. Welcome to Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
Hi, friend. Thank you for joining me. If you are a Fox News addict, then you will have seen some of this footage. If you are not, then you probably missed it. Well, I'll go ahead and play the one clip of Donald Trump sneaking into the convention in California. So there was such a huge mob outside that he and the Secret Service decided, wait a minute, we know a place around back where we can get out of the car, we can jump the fence, and we can walk in unimpeded. I love that. That is so old school. I actually had to do stuff like that once or twice. My Secret Service detail was not present with me at the time. But anyway, it's getting pretty intense out there. It's getting pretty intense out there. You might have seen the melee that happened, a small ruckus in Costa Mesa, California. Let us go ahead and play this clip from a local CBS affiliate out there.
Well, one of the Trump supporters injured in the melee outside his Costa Mesa rally last night spoke to CBS 2 Orange County reporter Michelle Geely.
And I just suddenly, out of nowhere, felt a thud in the front of my head.
A local news blogger who's a Trump supporter, a Costa Mesa officer, and a horse in the Huntington Beach Police Mounted Unit all were assaulted as the Donald Trump rally on Thursday night in Orange County spiraled into a raucous melee in the streets around the fairgrounds. Costa Mesa patrol car and a Fountain Valley unit were badly damaged by anti-Trump protesters. This incredible video posted to YouTube shows a driver spinning donuts inches from the crowd and law enforcement. No one has been caught for assaulting Mission Viejo's Cole Bartiromo. The online blogger, who needed 6 stitches, admits that he got into the middle of the chaos to document it. Someone knocked off his Trump hat, hurled slurs at him, and then slugged him.
And I started panicking, getting scared, thinking, well, when are they going to stop? Maybe they're going to kill me. These aren't rational people.
17 people were arrested by Costa Mesa police for refusing to leave. All but 2 were in their teens and their 20s from LA and Orange counties and the Inland Empire. The total number of law enforcement topped 300 here, which will cost the fairgrounds, which is run by the state, tens of thousands of dollars. In Costa Mesa, Michelle Geely, CBS 2 News.
So there you go. I love the way this affiliate spins the guy walking into the crowd. You know, I didn't want to participate. I just was going to record the event. Don't put a Trump hat on your head, okay? I want to record what happens if I put a big target on me that says, hit me here. So I admire the man's courage. I question his intelligence, and the journalist who was interviewing him should have at least said, well, you had to know that they were going to get really upset if you walked into the crowd with a Trump hat. However, he should be able to wear a Trump hat and not have the crap beat out of him. This is why I'm saying that the Cruz supporters, some of them, with the incessant whining and complaining, that and more importantly, the Hillary Clinton supporters, the Black Lives Matter. By the way, they're starting, the rumor is that they're going to start Hispanic Lives Matter. And they're going to also be involved in all of these ruckuses and frays that you see. So these Hillary Clinton supporters, these pro-immigration people, look at this footage, all right? There's footage that we can't even show you of women just being lewd and yelling expletives that we can't air on television. And I've spent years of my life protesting, leading protests in the street, trying to bring attention to child killing or to marriage as being between a man and a woman, or euthanasia, or any number of things. But what these people are doing is not helping any cause but Trump's. If you're a mom and pop, if you're a grandma and grandpa, if you're a young couple from fill in the blank, pick the state, and you see these hooligans, many of them with thick foreign accents, okay? It appears that they're Mexican accents, so there's a very good chance that they're not even American citizens. If you see these people jumping on police cars, assaulting people for wearing something that has the name of Trump, what does it make you do? Does it make you say, yeah, I want to vote for whoever they're supporting? Or does it make you take a second look at Trump? Man, whatever the guy's doing, he's ticking off those people. What is he doing? What's he saying? So it is my studied opinion, having been on both sides of the camera, both as a television host or radio host, microphone in that case, and as somebody who is trying to generate news and earned media, trying to get headlines, that these dear souls are only helping Donald Trump. Okay? Yes, there is a small core of pro-Hillary supporters that are going to say, yeah, I hate Trump, and they're going to want to come out and vote, but they're already there. These people are not bringing out new pro-Hillary voters. They're not bringing out new pro-Hillary sentiment. And when you see this articulate young white man with stitches on his forehead talking about just wanting to see what happened, and then you show the B-roll of people jumping up and down on a police car, you have to think to yourself, maybe Donald Trump's got something going for him after all. I want to invite you to go to our website. Almost every book that I have ever written is available as a PDF online for free. We have a ton of products, training materials, tools that are available for you for free. All we ask for is that you give us your email address. That's it. So that we can stay in touch with you, and yes, from time to time, ask you to support this work. So I'm inviting you, go to the website. Now, for those of you who say, well, I don't want a PDF, I want a real book. You can get one of my books. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling, and then give whatever gift you want. And if you can't afford anything, we'll send you the book for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Why are we doing all this? Because we want to change the direction of the country, and we need to raise up a fresh generation of warriors to do that. That's why we have this tool. I invite you, go to the website, see for yourself. All right, so tomorrow night, the Indiana primary, the results will come pouring in. Was it 57 delegates? 57 delegates. Next week, by the way, think this through. If Ted Cruz loses Indiana, you don't have to much thinking to do here. He's in real trouble. It's going to become almost impossible for him to raise money, because not only will he be mathematically incapable of reaching 1,237 before the convention, which he already is, but at that point, the momentum has so radically shifted, the narrative has so radically changed, that clearly Donald Trump is going to go into the convention with the number that he needs. My predictions are online. We created a delegate tool for you. So if you want to see the number of delegates in a state, if you want to see when the primary is, if you want to see if it's a winner take all, or if it's proportional, or what percentage of proportion, or what role the congressional districts play, it's all online. You can use it. You don't have to be listening to only my prognostications or the people on CNN or Fox. I predicted within 30 delegates of where Donald Trump would be today, 2 months ago. And that prediction is still online in the exact same way that I made it. You go ahead and take a look, make your own predictions. All right, so if Cruz loses tomorrow night, then the narrative shifts and his ability to raise money will crumble. Then he can't pay his staff. Then he can't pay for TV and radio advertising. And then he is completely dependent on earned media, which is where you go someplace and the news people want to cover you. But if you don't have money and you don't have staff, how can you earn the media coverage? How can you sell to the news outlets, I'm a valuable story, I'm a valid story because I'm going to keep Trump from reaching 1237? You have no money, your staff is crumbling, all the momentum has shifted to Trump. I think we're going to send our news crew to the Trump event, not the Cruz event. All right, that's a little bit simplistic, but that is really and truly in part how it works. So, Nebraska, check my numbers for me, would you? Is it Nebraska with 36 delegates? And I think it's 51 delegates for New Jersey. So a week from now, the Nebraska and the West Virginia primaries happen. And if my memory is correct, Billy Bob is checking for me. You can check on our web tool. It's 36 for Nebraska and 51 for New Jersey. I'm telling you this because it's interesting, and I have yet to been able to find an answer. My gut tells me the answer. Nebraska has about 1.8 million people, and they have 36 delegates. New Jersey has 8 million people. That's more than 4 times as many. It's pushing 5 times as many, 4.5 times as many. And yet they only have 51 delegates. So my guess is that the number of delegates for a state is based upon the proportion of the population that is registered as a Republican. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, all right? And I will tomorrow night, but that's my guess. Because we were talking with some friends and family last night in Nebraska, commenting on how many delegates they have, and then just, well, New Jersey's only got 51. How can that be? It is what, yeah. So that's just crazy. But this I know. Nebraska is an overwhelmingly registered Republican state, and New Jersey is Democrats and independents. So it would make sense that that is why. All right, let's come back to the math. I know for some of you, you're weary of this. In fact, I watched very little news over the weekend. I don't know if I turned my television on once. I did not. I am burned out. I did not turn on the TV one time yesterday to watch the news, and I may have turned it on for 5 minutes on Saturday. I may not have. I mean, yard work to do, things to plant. I'm tired of it. And I do this, as part of my vocation. So I can't blame you if you're tired of it. Now, what's really funny is some of you are just now starting to pay attention. There are American people who have done everything in their power to push this whole thing out of its mind and focus on their bread and circuses. But now that it's coming down to a slugfest between Hillary and Trump, people are starting to pay attention. And guess what the latest poll showed? Woo-hoo! That's called a tease to get you to watch the next segment. Think with me. Billy Bob mentioned off the air, when is the last time you saw a political figure in America create this kind of momentum and sustain it for this long? The only person that you could even consider would be Ronald Reagan in 1980. But even that, Trump might be doing better than that. It's a different world today than it was then. I'll grant you that. But all right, so here's the fulfillment of the promise. The latest Rasmussen poll in a head-to-head race with Trump and Hillary shows Trump beating her. by 2 points, 41 to 39. Yep. Now, it's just one poll, but you have to remember, 3-4 months ago, Trump was down in many of the polls by 10 points, 12 points. All of the polls, the gap has closed. And that means in the last week, there's now 2 polls that show Trump either in the margin of error or above. So I'm going to say this one more time, and then we'll move on to other topics. Are there any other topics? Donald Trump has brought more people into the Republican Party, into the primary process, than any human being in Republican history. Let the full weight and impact of that sink in on you. These people like Karl Rove, the Republican establishment, the people that I despise, and frankly, you should too, okay? If it was anyone but Trump, if it was Jeb Bush, I know, let's play it out. It's a little funny, but if it was Jeb Bush that was bringing millions of new voters into the process, the Republican establishment would be doing somersaults. They would be having champagne toasts every night. They would be drinking champagne as a nightcap, and they would be drinking champagne as their morning wake-up cup of coffee. Okay, it would be champagne instead of coffee every morning. But it's not one of their guys. It's somebody who's actually committed to unraveling the power and the corruption of that very establishment. So the fact that Trump is bringing in millions of new voters, while it should make the Republican establishment elated, it terrifies them. It terrifies them. And it should. Because it's theirs to lose. And I don't mean the election. I mean the levers of power, the lobbyists, the money, the gifts, the fancy dinners. I'm going to confess to you. Let me have this be a moment where I make it about me, hopefully for the sake of you. I am late 40s. Just had a birthday. And don't be fooled by the gray hair. I dye this white so that I can just look cool. I've been in situations where people took me out to Ruth Chris Steakhouse. Have you ever eaten at Ruth Chris Steakhouse? Right? $90 for the steak. Everything is a la carte. $90 for a steak. Do you know how many groceries I could buy for $90? I wasn't footing the bill. Somebody took me and my wife out to dinner. I have tons of stories like this, okay? On rented trains with fancy carts, having dinner with multi-million gazillionaires, okay? Very powerful people, because I was a fair-haired boy. I was the most famous pro-life leader in the Western Hemisphere, maybe the world, except for John Paul II and Mother Teresa. So they wanted me to be around because I was like a little badge of honor. Oh, he's with Randall Terry. Randall Terry's really cool. Have you seen what Randall Terry's doing? Blah, blah, blah. So I got to be at some of the parties. I got to be at the by invitation only conferences where we would sit in gilded rooms, and the hors d'oeuvres that they would serve us cost more than the best meals that you could get at Chi-Chi's or Fridays. Just the hors d'oeuvres, all right? And the alcohol, the expensive wines, okay? And then depending again on the place that you go, the super high-end spirits, okay? The alcohol that's higher potency. The gifts, just for walking in the door, you get a bag of gifts. There's people in the Beltway, in Washington, D.C., where we used to live, where we used to work, that they live for this stuff. They live for it. Okay, it's a part of their everyday existence. What party am I going to? Who do I get the picture taken with? Who am I meeting with today? I have a hangover from last night. I don't even have to get up till noon. I do my business at night, to the next party, to the next gathering, to the next place where I have to deliver the check. Okay? Donald Trump is a threat to all of that. Because if they don't have access to Trump, and they should, then they've got nothing to sell back home. And if they should be opposing Trump, well, if Trump will do great for the left wing of the country. He'll be a fundraiser extraordinaire for Democrats and for liberals. But the right wing, the conservatives, the religious right, the Republican of power establishment, the Republican of power establishment, they are doomed as far as their narrative, their fundraising ability, if Trump becomes the president. That's why they don't want him, because he's a threat to their power. It doesn't matter if he would fix trade with China. It doesn't matter if he would stop the nukes from getting to the hands of the Iranians. Pick your issue. Illegal immigrants, he'll build a wall. They don't want it. They don't care. They want power. They want their own future. They want their cars, their Mercedes, their BMWs. Are you getting this? Are you understanding why his populist candidacy is such a threat to them? Because they are part of the problem and he's part of the solution. They are the disease and he be the cure. Friend, this program is supported by friends like you who believe in what we are doing. We run a very tight ship. Thankfully, we are on over 130 stations across the country, having tremendous impact. We get emails every day. We get letters in the mail, not every day, but almost every day. We hear from people who love what we're doing. What people don't understand is that it's sort of expensive to produce a television show like this. It doesn't require earth-shattering funds, but it does require financial help. So I am asking you, if you enjoy this program, throw us a $10 or a $20 bill every once in a while, or even a $50 or a $100 check. You see the address there on the screen. Your gifts are not tax deductible, by the way, because we want to be able to say what we want to say regarding politics without the IRS telling us no. So if you like the program, I ask for your support. I want to make something perfectly clear. If Ted Cruz were winning with the delegate count that Trump has right now, if the delegate count was completely inverted, I would be cheering like a maniac for Cruz. Like a maniac. He's anti-establishment. He stood up to Mitch McConnell. He's pro-life. Now, there are things about Cruz I don't like. He said that it is a right to commit suicide. No, it's not a right. That is a massive, massive falsehood that he said. He said that the issue of marriage between a man and a woman should be left to the states. No, that is wrong. The state doesn't have a right to create a law to protect an abominable sin against God. That's like saying we should have baby killing be decided by states' rights. How about this one, Senator Cruz? Let's have it be slavery. That didn't go so well. We tried that once. Slavery is a states' rights issue. No, it's not. It's a human rights issue. It's a law of God issue. So if Cruz was winning right now, I would be cheering my lungs out for him. And so, because there are people going, well, you're on a Trump supporter. Look, Trump is going to be the nominee, okay? And so I want him to crush Hillary. Well, there's things wrong with Trump. Of course there are. But Trump has said that women should have a punishment once child killing is made illegal. He wants to protect babies with the force of law if they try and kill their baby illegally. Hey, people, that's 100% right. Okay? Who would you rather have? So, well, who do you want picking the next Supreme Court justice? Here, look at, let's just close the camera right here. I'm asking you, who between Hillary and Donald Trump Trump, who has said he wants to find somebody like Anton Scalia. Who do you want to nominate the next Supreme Court justice? Who do you want to nominate the next Supreme Court justice? Hillary or Trump?